the Word of God, the Bible. What is God saying? What is God telling you? What is God telling me? Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 10. God is saying, trust the Lord with all your heart. Trust is a very powerful aspect, quality, or characteristic of us human beings. We trust our friends, we trust our relatives, we trust our jobs, our leaders, we trust our thinking. Now, all these things are good, but then God negates. God says no. Don't trust other things. Don't trust other people. Don't even trust yourself. Don't think you're wiser than God. Why? Because you may have decided, for example, you may have decided by trusting yourself, I am going to do A, B, C, D. And you had planned, you had trusted, you had believed that actually that is what you are going to do. But then what happens? Along the way, or in the course of the day, things change. Even your reasoning, your thinking, your perception of what you had believed and what you thought you do changes. But God says, don't trust other things. Don't trust your friends. Your friends are here today, they may change. They may turn against you. Now, he also says, don't trust your relatives with all your heart. Trusting is good. Believing in others is good. But not with all your heart. Not all with your mind. Not with all your feelings. Even our feelings, at times they betray us. At times you need help. At times you're feeling good. At times you're feeling sad. At times you are just laughing. Then from nowhere, just like you saw, you did something, you are told something, and you change your feelings. And therefore God is saying, let us not trust fully in all other things. But we should fully trust in God. And he says, when we trust in him, when we believe in him, in whatever we are praying, in whatever we are believing him for, then he shall surely come around and fulfill and meet with the desires of our hearts. Now I repeat, let us trust our friends. Let us trust our relatives, our partners, our children, our jobs, even the money we have. It is good to trust. But then God is very careful. And he says, don't trust in me, trust me with all your heart. In other words, 100% we should put our trust in God. But maybe 75 or 50% we should trust in other people, in our leaders, in our jobs, but not 100%. And the Bible is clear. Trust your God with all your heart. All means 100%. Now, what are the benefits of trusting? I'll come to this one, to that one. The other point he says, remember the Lord in everything you do, and he will show you the right path. That is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 10. Remember the Lord. When you wake up in the morning, when you are moving about, when you are to your place of work, when you are planning, when you are eating, when you are sleeping, all our plans, the Lord is saying, remember, let us remember him. Let us put everything on the Lord's table. In other words, when all your plans, all your beliefs, all your actions, remember to put them and remember to involve God. And not only involve him fully. Don't have maybe 80% or 75%. That's where you say, oh, God, I trust in you for this 75%. But in everything, remember him. And he says, when we remember him, and when we put him, and when he's part of our lives, he's part of our plans, and we actually cement and we put an umbrella of God over our plans, then he says, and I'll show you, and I'll guide you, and I'll give you the right path to follow. That is awesome. That is good. That when we trust in God, then he'll make sure that he blesses us, he increases us, he guides us, and he brings out the right channels, the right path to follow. And of the two, trusting, fully trusting in God and trusting in others lesser, of course, 60-70%. In other words, we are not supposed to trust other people. We are not supposed to trust other things, our jobs, our feelings, our thinking. We are not supposed to trust them 100%. It is ungodly. But God himself is the one he's saying, trust me with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And remember me in all that you do, in everything that you do. Not everything will involve everybody, even in whatever we do. There are things we do on our own. There are things we shouldn't involve everybody and all people. And therefore it is important to have a demarcation, to have a line, to have a boundary. To what extent do you involve others? To what extent do you share? Do you call? Do you encourage? Do you talk with your friends? But before God, even your most inner secrets, your thoughts, your fears, hey, your most inner fears, your thoughts, your worries, God should know. God should be part of it. And God should be aware. And we can never tire God. And we can never be a trash to God. And we can never be a bother to God. When we say, he says, involve God, involve me in everything, then it means every now and then, right, south, left, morning, evening, as we sleep, we are supposed to know and to involve God. And when we do that one, God is very clear. He says, it will be like good medicine, which means at times there is bad medicine. It will be like good medicine. That is one, he says. And then he says, our trusting, our believing, our involving God in all, he says, it will bring healing in our lives, in our bodies, and it will be like good medicine. And then it will reduce our pain. It will ease our pain. It will put off our pains. It will put off the fire of the enemy, the attacks, the arrows that may come by day, the terror that may come by day, by night, the arrows that may come day and night. And therefore it is important that we trust. And as we finish, God says, if you really trust in me, fully trust in me, then you shall live in perfect peace. If you fully trust in me, it is good to fully trust in God. It is good to fully trust Him, believe in Him. Believe in Him, trust in Him, because it brings healing. When you trust in God, you avoid other thoughts. You avoid negative. You avoid overthinking. You avoid your own imagination. You avoid what the enemy is forcing you, or what the enemy would want you to think. Because many of the times our mind will force us, will drive us, will stray us into thinking very toxic and very harmful thoughts. And those thoughts, normally they are transferred, converted into feelings. And when they are converted into feelings, then that is it. And this is why God is saying, trusting in Him, committing everything before Him, it is the good medicine that we need. It brings healing, and it removes the pain, and it gives us perfect peace. That is the word of God. May God help us to remember that whatever we do, we need to involve Him, and we need to trust Him, not 10%, not 20%, but 100%. That is the word of God.